Hi everybody, I'm John of Millinery and welcome back to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It lets the algorithm know that you like this, that people like this, and it will just hopefully get pushed to more people. Last week's video did really well, by the way, so thank you everybody for whoever watched that, whoever clicked on it, hit that like button and commented. It all helps. Excuse me. It all helps this channel, so thank you so much. Well, hello everybody, and you know, it's another week, another video. So this week I originally had something else planned and then it didn't work out like I wanted, so I had to rethink what I was going to be doing, and I might revisit that another time. So I quickly put something together. So yes, so as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, I am trying to make a saucer style headpiece. Didn't turn out like a saucer, but a saucer style without using a saucer block. So what is a saucer block, you ask? Well, I actually do have one. Ugh, this big thing here. So this is a saucer block. This is from Hat Blocks Direct, so that'll be linked in the description box below. And it's basically like a brim block with a divot, really. And then you have like a presser, which is this one, and that kind of goes in there and presses it down. So then when you wear it, it's supposed to look a little like this type thing, with it curved up. I use mine in a slightly different way. The beauty of this block as well is it's actually double-sided, so you could actually use this side as like a flat brim as well. And I've had this a fair few years now, so it's a little bit full of holes, which I know I should be using drawing pins, but whatever. So suppose you want to see what I actually made with this. So yeah. So I apologise in advance because I am extremely hungover this morning. We went out for dinner last night. I have my coffee and I have a muffin for when I finished recording. Yeah, it was a very nice dinner and the food was amazing. Kind of took a little bit long to arrive, and I say a little bit long, it wasn't long at all, but we seemed to have ploughed through a bottle of wine before we actually started eating, so we ordered another one. So yeah, this morning I'm feeling a little delicate, so hold on. So you've seen in the thumbnail, I do this every week. So this is what I ended up making for this week's video. So this is, it's not a saucer per se, it's, well, it could be, who knows. 2 layers of cinnamon, a layer of basket weave, neon tubular crin around, and then I have these little flowers that I made with Swarovski pearls and some vintage leaf veined sequins. Before I go on and show you how I made this, just want to talk about last week's question of the week. So I have the questions, I have the answers here. So we have Kristen Peterson, who says she gets inspired by films. She's collected pictures from films and TV, especially The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I think I might have to check that out because I haven't heard of that before. Okay. And then we've also got Afua Hagen, who says she gets most of her inspiration from nature, especially trees with lots of contours, which I thought was very sweet actually. Is that gonna fall over if I put it there? Who knows? So stay tuned to the end of this video for this week's so stay tuned for this week's question of the week, which will be at the end of this video. And if you want to see how I made this, let's get started. As mentioned in the intro, whilst I'm not using a saucer block, I am still using a block to make the head sit in. So the block I am using today is part of the Fascinator and Wild Hats bundle from Guy Moss Brown. I've had this block over 10 years now and it's still going real strong. It retails at £127 for the tip, crown and the base, and the beauty of this multi-block system is you can adjust the blocks by changing the tips. So if you're looking for a versatile block, this is a very good choice. I initially steamed over the block 2 layers of light pink cinema from Petersham's Millinery, and using my hands I smooth it down over the block. I only need to shape a small indent, but using the pillbox section as well means I can actually use the block stand for stability when shaping this crown bit. I then smooth over a layer of the basket weave cinema in hot pink, and this is also from Petersham's Millinery, and it priced at £6 per half metre. I'm using a length of yarn to hold the cinema in place, as I couldn't find my elastic that I sometimes use, but it did work well. I find smoothing it down and then using the yarn to assist with the smoothing works well. Just ensure you keep it tight and adjust your cinema as you go along. I pinned the yarn to ensure it didn't unravel and gave it a last blast of steam. This was then left to dry and then stiffened and then left to dry again. I added some millinery wire along the base of the crown. So this is a covered millinery wire and I sewed this on the outside of the crown. I didn't want it on the inside as I'm making like an all-in-one saucer, so I thought it would sit better on the outside. This is where it gets a little controversial, and or maybe it's just my anxiety, but using an iron and a clean towel or some scrap fabric, start to iron the layers flat. So I steam all the layers together, then work on the light pink to ensure that the creases are removed, and then all the ease is eased into the crown or into the rest of the brim. And then what I do is, once I'm happy with the base cinema, I do the same with the basket weave and I seal it with like a final blast of steam on all the layers to secure it all down and then work on the next section. And it's only possible with cinema that has been pre-stiffened. If your cinema isn't pre-stiffened, you will need to stiffen it yourself, but I don't know how that works as I haven't actually tried that. A little tip is to use the heat in the fabric or your ironing board to assist with that initial smooth. So using your hands and the heat from the table or the fabric, it will help just getting them creases out, and it will help things smooth out easier. So I'm just going to interrupt you a little bit while we are making this beautiful piece, just to quickly talk to you about Patreon. Patreon is a service where creators can interact with their fans in a more one-to-one setting, and we've got tiers from just £1 per month. So Patreon is linked in the description box below. While you're there is also a link to a subscription box. Now, it's not the box itself, it's a survey to figure out what people would potentially want from a millinery subscription service. So if you are interested in filling that out, it takes no more than 3 to 5 minutes, and it just would help me figure out if it's a viable thing that I should be working towards. So yeah, let's carry on with this video. Okay, so I probably should have wired the brim first, but I clearly didn't. But here I am using some neon yellow tubular crin to trim around the crown. This is also from Petersham's. In fact, I think everything is, and it's priced at £1.75 per metre. I tied the ends as it frays a little, and then I used the knot to sew to the crown of the hat. At this point, I only added 3 lengths of tubular crin, and it didn't really cover the wire I had attached earlier. So I decided to work on the brim while I was deciding what I was going to do. For the brim, I knew I wanted a flat brim. So when I looked at how the basket weave cinema was sitting, it had some natural curves, as you can see. So I decided to go along with the curves and make like a wavy edged brim. This was then edged with some brim wire and a matching grosgrain ribbon along the edges, making sure to tuck the ribbon in the same way on each of the corners. To break up the pink a little, I decided to bead embroider some flowers on the brim. So I started with a Swarovski pearl in neon yellow, and then around it I sewed some sequined leaves. These are, once again, from Petersham's Millinery. The correct name for these on their website are Vintage French, 1940s, 50s, paillettes au coq sequins, veined leaves. I probably butchered the French bit of that. And according to Petersham's website, they are made in France by paillettes au coq, and they date to 1940s, 50s, and were rescued from an old haberdashery. Preserved for decades, they are ready to find their forever home. Oh, that's too cute. One thing about Petersham's, they have a lot of like vintage sequins and stuff that you've not really seen. I've used a couple of their sequins before in previous videos, which will be linked in the card above and in the description box below. So I used that in, what did I use that in? I used that in the 80s neon boater thing with, yeah, I used it in that one. So then once the flowers were sewn onto the brim, I then added some Petersham along the head fitting using a matching grosgrain ribbon to the one on the brim. There you have it. So, a couple of things which I need to think about is this finish here. I think it needs something, or this finish here where all the tubes sit maybe should be somewhere else where it can be hidden a different way. So that, it kind of needed something just to cover that. So before I put this up for sale, I am going to work on that and try and figure out what to put there. Second thing, head fitting. So I don't often talk about head fittings because more often than not, if I were to sell something, I tend to see what the custom wants before I put a head fitting in, like a band or a comb or whatever. So so for this one, I would probably suggest one of two things. Putting a hat elastic, so everybody knows how to put a hat elastic in. So you'd put hat elastic coming from there, round the back of the neck and joining at the bottom of the hat there. Or I saw somebody had done something in a like a shallow crown, and they made these little things out of millinery wire, and they would sit just underneath the Petersham, and they would sit like here holding the hat into the hair. So that could be an option for something like this. Now obviously you know your hats, you know what works best, and your customer knows how they like to wear them. So it's definitely something that you would have to talk to your customer about, see what they want and how they want it. And you know, if they've got the hair up, then maybe, you know, an elastic isn't going to be right unless they get the hairdresser to put the hat in, and when they're putting the hair up, you know, all these different things you've got to think about. So yeah, which is cute. So that is me done for this week's video. I'm actually recording this bit the morning of the upload. This should have gone up yesterday, but well, yeah, but it's a day late. So this week's question of the week is, I have no idea. I haven't thought about this. I need to think of a question of the week. So this week's question of the week, after some serious thinking there, this week's question of the week is, what is your preferred material to work with? So I know for myself, I quite like working with straw, like a parasisal or a buntle. They're really nice, and they seem to block really nicely and effortlessly. So I would probably say like a parasisal or a buntle is probably my most favourite thing to work with. My least, in fact, no, we'll keep that for another question of the week. So let me know in the comments down below what your favourite material is when you're making your wonderful creations. So thank you very much for watching. I am going to go and edit this video right now and try and deal with this hangover. Yeah. All my social media is listed in the description box below, as well as links to everything that I used, the block that I used, and also the saucer block as well. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's late, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.